So I was just looking at this graph, and honestly, it's been kind of rattling around in my head all morning. It's one of those things that make people in policy rooms really, really uncomfortable. And it's just a simple scatter plot, right? So on one side, you've got all the stuff that we care about, right? Life expectancy, literacy, whether or not the kids are surviving past the age of 5, right? Basically, the life is good metric. And then on the other axis, you've got energy use, like how much power is every person actually consuming. And the thing is, it's near this perfect curve, right? There's zero outliers. You don't see any countries sitting at the top left corner, the high ones, the one with high quality of life but low energy use. They just don't exist. It's not a thing. And it kind of forced me to ask this question that usually gets you yelled at if you're hanging out in a sustainability circle, right? But are we basically trying to plan for the future that physics just won't allow? Because I don't know, it feels like we're having to live through this era of total magical thinking. The main story right now, the one that everyone's betting billions of dollars on, is this idea of decoupling, right? That somehow you can grow the economy by using way less energy, like through efficiency or digitization or whatever. It sounds great. It feels responsible, right? But then you actually look at the math. Decoupling usually just looks like an accounting trick. Like when the wealthy country says, hey, our GDP is up, but our energy use is flat. They haven't actually hacked physics. They usually just moved their heavy manufacturing to a poorer country. They didn't actually reduce the energy it takes to make their phone or their car. They just moved the meter somewhere else. And this matters. I mean, it really matters, because if we're building our whole future around the assumption that we'll need less power, but human progress actually requires more, we're basically engineering a massive crash. It's not a bridge to the future, it's a bottleneck. And when you strip away the charts, energy is actually pretty simple. It's just outsourced labor. I mean, before the grid, if you wanted water, you carried it. If you want heat, you went out, chopped the wood. If you paid for your survival with your own time. And time is really the only thing we can't make more of. So when we pump energy into society, we're basically buying back our lives. We're buying the time to actually think and invent and, I don't know, just take care of each other. But look at what happens when the foundation starts to crack. I mean, look at us here in Hawaii, right? We're paying some of the highest power rates in the country. And that's just not a stat on a page. It's weight on everyone. I see this in my hometown all the time. Local shops, when the electricity bill is high as their rent, the owner isn't hiring anyone new. They aren't buying better equipment. They're just stuck, just trying to keep the lights on. Expensive energy is basically a hidden tax on everything. It's a tax on your bread. It's a tax on water, a tax on your commute. We talk about sustainability nonstop, but if our version of what it makes to make life is going to be expensive to the point where families literally have to leave the islands just to survive, what are we sustaining? We're just presiding over a decline. And there's this stubborn reality we have to face. There are no energy efficient poor countries that are actually thriving. When energy use is low, life is hard. It's manual. It's brutal. And that's not some lifestyle choice we should be romanticizing. It's a trap. I guess the realization just totally changed how I look at the grid. I used to spend all my time worrying about how we could limit what we use. How do we shrink our lives to fit our resources? But now I'm worried about how we expand those resources to actually match what humans are capable of. It's a total shift in my head. Energy isn't this necessary evil we have to minimize. It's the floor. It's the physical floor of human dignity. If you want a world that's actually healthier, where kids are educated and poverty is rare, we're going to need more power, not less. We have to stop pretending we can live a first world life on a third world energy budget. Physics it doesn't take bribes, right? It doesn't care about slogans or policies. It just cares about capacity. So the goal shouldn't be to starve the system to save the planet. The goal should be to build a system so robust that abundance is just the default. But, I mean, if we accept that we need massive amounts of new power, then we hit the next wall. Like, where do we put it? And how do we build it without trashing the environment we're trying to save in the first place? That's the real design challenge. And that's probably what I need to look at next. I'm AJ Perkins, and this is about building a foundation that actually holds. Mahalo, and thank you for thinking through this with me.